Hey, family and friends. It's good to be back with you today. I am Chris Wilson, and this is your midweek motivation. I have one call to action for you, though, today. And it's simple. If you don't mind, would you please hit the share button? If you hit the share button, others can join the live with us. Hi, Beverly Johnson. Thank you for watching. So good to see your face. Thank you so much, though, for hitting the share. I have two people who share every week, my darling husband and Miss Cecile Douglas. They both share every week. Hi, Michelle Cheeks. Hey, girl. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. So if you don't mind, if you just hit that share button so that others can join, I will be most grateful. Thank you so very much. So, the midweek motivation. Have you ever had something hit you and stick? I mean, it's like a sentence or a word or a phrase or something, an experience. Something just hits you and it sticks. Okay, it just won't go away. So every day you wake up, you think about it. You think about it all throughout your day. Well, I received this statement into my world a couple of weeks ago, and it continues to speak to me. Therefore, it is constantly changing my life. That statement is, once I have learned something, then it is incumbent upon me to teach others. Very simple statement. Had never really thought about it before. But once I have learned something, it is incumbent upon me to teach others. Hi, Delicia. Hi, Dee Dee. Good to see you again this week. Okay, I'm going to have to come to see you when I come to Carolina. So there are three things I want to say about that statement. Let me say it again. Once I have learned something new, it is then incumbent upon me to teach others. So what I want to talk about today is learning, to learn something new. And then once you learn something new, teach others or articulate what you've learned. And number three, believe God. Okay, let's jump in. The statement again, once you have learned something, it is then incumbent upon you to teach others. To learn something, okay, you're welcome. To learn something is to acquire knowledge or understanding, skill or realization, to be informed, to be enabled. To learn something causes you to respond differently. Okay? That statement has caused me to push pause and to think about what really drives me, what pushes me, what causes me to take action, what moves me, what inspires me, what pushes me, what causes me to, what stimulates me, what motivates me and stirs me, what enthuses me. That statement also leads me to the question. Hi, Everett Jackson. Thank you for watching. That statement also leads me to this question. Am I willing? Am I just willing to learn something new or different? I think we all have that one person or somebody in our lives who, you can't tell them anything because they know it all already. They already know everything. Well, I don't want to be that person. I want to be ever learning. And that's another question. Am I ever learning? As I engage with people throughout every day, I want to be open, at least open, to learn something from each encounter. That one sentence has become a part of my daily meditation, okay? That one sentence is transforming who I am. So much so that I am now far more willing to speak into the lives of others, prayerfully helping them to open their minds to receive further revelation of God's plans for their lives. That's the intent. So in conjunction with this new space of learning, it is just as critical to be able to articulate what I'm learning, because this new information will go a long way toward helping me move in my swim lane. Okay, my passion. Hi, Kathy Settles. Thank you for watching. This new information helps me in my swim lane. It helps with the passion that I have. Nothing comes into our world by happenstance. Everything helps us along life's journey as we are fulfilling our passion and our calling. Passion, passion, okay? That thing that drives you, that thing that you would do for free. And let me tell you, you've been doing it for a long time for free. That's your passion. That which brings me life every time I'm engaged with it. To be able to speak that into the atmosphere begins the process of seeing it. It brings about manifestation when we speak it. Okay, y'all know that Proverbs 18:21 says that death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. So be careful what you say. For years, I said things like, I'm not a writer, until one day I received some new information. And I learned something that was contrary to my speech. When I learned that I am indeed a writer, my speech changed, which changed my outcome. In 2017, I published my first book, and let me tell you, it was really hard. It was very, very hard for me to say that I was writing a book in the beginning. I was afraid people would laugh at me or would question why I thought I had something to say, or make a comment or something that would discourage me. Hi, Jackie. Thank you for watching. I even felt like I would have to defend not only what I wrote, but why I wrote it. So you see, the enemy, he works really hard. Okay, he'll use whatever he can to get you not to do what you were created to do. Fear is such an immobilizer. Okay, and I did get a side eye and a twisted lip. But, by that time, I had already received enough confirmation that I was on the right track that it didn't really matter. Okay, but you know what? I'm sorry. It's asking me to do something. Do I want to tag somebody? Sure, tag them. I'm learning this technology. But I had to push past the comment and that side eye, that twisted lip. I had to push past that and realize that God has indeed given me something to say. And if I don't believe in it enough to do it, then no one else will either. Not only that, the gift had been stirred, okay? And I could not write. At that point, I just could not write. So my every day was being consumed with thoughts about the book, and chunks of material would just start coming to me, such that I had to start typing immediately, or I felt like I would explode, okay? That's the thing about passion and hearing the call of God for a particular thing in your life. It's not contingent upon anyone else hearing it or believing it. You have to know that you're in the lane God has directed you has directed for you for the course that you're running, okay? The course that you're running. So as a result of my learning this, I am now supporting others in their efforts to get their books published. So number one, I learned that I am a writer, okay? And number two, I am progressively engaged in teaching others how to get their message out to the world. I have similarly said I'm not a speaker until I attended the 2017 Lift Conference and was inspired and encouraged to get out of that box. Okay, it was a box that I put myself in. It's amazing what the Lord will use as a trigger to launch us into action. Now, here I am doing midweek motivations on Facebook Live. Wow. And listen, I am anticipating one day receiving an invitation to speak. I am. Or maybe even a gig to do some writing outside of what I do for myself. And I'm okay with that now. Before, I would not have even entertained these things. Okay, so what I love to do is write. What I love to do is inspire others to tap into their God-given potential and capabilities, to find their sweet spot, to own your own swim lane, to live in your passion, and to believe what God has said about you individually. So number two, I can clearly articulate my passion even as I'm learning to live in it. Number three, the foundation that supports 1 and 2, the framework by which learning and teaching or articulating is housed, that which makes it all make sense is to believe God. Okay, John chapter 7 verse 38 says, "He who believes in me, as the scriptures has said, out of his heart will flow rivers of living water." Okay, believe me, I get it that hearing God's direction for your life and stepping into that can be quite intimidating and even frightening. Trust me, I know. I really do. Who likes to take risks? I mean, really? I was quite comfortable right where I was. I had learned to live with what I had currently, and I knew how to talk myself, really, I knew how to talk myself out of anything that could possibly change my current status. Then God called. Okay? Will you take the risk when God calls? Will you answer the call? Without risk, if you say no to risk, let me tell you, there's no possibility of pain. If you say no to risk, there's no possibility of frustration. There's no possibility of rejection or failure. But get this, without risk, there is no possibility of success. I really should update that statement and say, if you say no to risk, you have successfully done nothing. You have successfully accomplished nothing if you say no to risk, because everything that you try has a certain level of risk in it. Okay, so I need what you have locked up inside of you. The world needs what you have locked up inside of you. But the greater than that, you need to release what is locked up inside of you. You need to release it. Pastor Monty Weatherall said on the Suited Up for Impact Telesummit, and listen, if you missed that telesummit, it was a wonderful dialogue amongst 6 powerful men who are fully engaged in their God-given calling. It was a phenomenal telesummit. It was hosted by my friend Nina Abdul-Wakil. If you want to get the replays of that, reach out to me and I'll see if I can figure out how to get it to you. It was actually done January 3rd and 4th. So anyway, Pastor Monty said, don't spend any more time being in your own way. Stop being your own worst enemy. Reclaim your identity and be released into your great destiny. One of the other speakers on the telesummit, his name is Craig Heath, he said, it matters that you were born. Live in your purpose. Die empty. I tell you, the telesummit was really good, and we got some great nuggets from that. And then, during the New Year's revival that's held at First Baptist Church of Glenarden, Bishop Jakes said something that I thought was just phenomenal. He said, stop tipping around your own life. Stop tipping. Stop tipping, being intimidated, drawing back. Stop tipping around your own life. Be bold as you inquire of the Lord about His plans for you. Then boldly step into the swim lane He directs you to. I thought that was just phenomenal. I lived over 50 years of life not hearing God's voice about His plans for my life. Yes, I read the word. Yes, I prayed. Yes, I was an intercessor, prayer warrior. Yes, I heard God's voice throughout those years about other things in my life, but I didn't begin to dig deep. I didn't go for the nuggets of gold until I came face to face with the possibility of no longer having this life. When I opened my eyes in the recovery room, there was no way I could go back to life as usual. And that was over 4 years ago. That was over 4 years ago. That's right, Beverly. It's time to be bold. And since that time, I am slowly being transformed into the person I now believe I was deposited into this world to be, doing what I now believe I was created to do. What a sense of nirvana and enlightenment. I mean, it's just liberating and freeing. So I'll leave with you this, 1 Corinthians 2:9. And I want everyone watching this video now and everyone who will watch this video to really grab a hold of this. 1 Corinthians 2:9 says, but it is written, eye has not seen, nor ear heard, nor have entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for those who love Him. Get that. Let that stick to you. Let that sink down within you. Go throughout this year with that. that you have no idea the great things that God has in store for us, for those that love Him. He's ready to reveal those things to us now. Follow hard after God. Seek His face and His heart before you seek His hand. Ask Him the hard questions. Listen, He can handle it. He can handle any question you bring to Him, but be ready to move when He gives you the answer, because listen, He will. So as a summation or recap, once you've learned something, it is then incumbent upon you to teach others. It is just as critical to be able to articulate your passion and teach others. And number 3, believe God. So thank you all so much for listening. This does it for this midweek motivation. And for tuning in today, I really do thank you. And remember, listen, authenticity is beautiful. Authenticity is strong. Authenticity is transparent and true. Authenticity is living the life you were created to live, honoring God who created you, making every day better because you were a part of it. Make this your season to live out your reason. Be authentically you. Thank you for listening, and I'll check with y'all next week. Bye-bye.